The galaxy was quiet in a way that felt dangerous. Commander Alex Reinhardt sat in the cockpit of his small human frigate, eyes scanning the distant Zypherian colonies. The stars outside were bright, but his squadron's mission was dark: evacuate civilians before the mercenary fleets arrived. He tapped his fingers on the console, the hum of the ship echoing his tension. Humans were often underestimated in these parts of space, and Alex had learned long ago that underestimation was a weapon he wielded better than any laser cannon. "Commander, we're approaching the northern settlement," said Lieutenant Mara, her voice steady but tight. "Sensors show multiple hostiles closing in. They're faster than expected." Alex leaned forward, eyes narrowing. "Then we hit them before they hit us. Keep formation tight, Mara. We'll do what humans always do, outsmart them." The fleet of human ships moved with a precision born from countless battles, weaving through asteroid fields and magnetic storms with skill the aliens could never predict. Alex smiled faintly. They thought humans were fragile, predictable, and chaotic. They were wrong. The Zypherian planet below was a sight to behold. Its forests glowed faintly under the twin moons, and crystal cities floated above the treetops like shining jewels. The beauty was mesmerizing, but Alex did not admire it now. He had no time for beauty. Civilians were trapped, and somewhere in the chaos, the Zypherian queen Lysara was in danger. He had heard the rumors. Lysara was young for a queen but fierce, with the weight of her people pressing on her shoulders. The mercenary fleet had no respect for her or her world. They sought chaos, plunder, and domination, and if she fell, the entire Zypherian race would fracture. "Lieutenant," Alex said, voice calm but commanding, "set coordinates for the central city. We're going in, full speed." Mara hesitated for only a moment before nodding. "Yes, Commander." The human frigate dove through the atmosphere, lasers and ion trails lighting up the sky. The mercenary ships fired back, but humans had a habit of finding the smallest cracks in enemy strategy. Alex's squadron split into unpredictable patterns, confusing the enemy. In minutes, what should have been a devastating attack became a masterful display of human ingenuity. Alex landed in the heart of the city, near the palace where Lysara was believed to be trapped. The streets were littered with debris and smoke, the air thick with the smell of burned metal and ozone. Civilians huddled in corners, terrified, while alien soldiers tried desperately to hold the line. He did not waste time on introductions. Humans were direct. He jumped from the ship, guns drawn, and charged into the fray. His squad followed without hesitation. Each human move seemed chaotic, but it was carefully calculated. They flanked enemies, created diversions, and rescued trapped civilians with efficiency that left the mercenaries reeling. Then he saw her. Lysara, standing on a balcony above the main hall, surrounded by a handful of loyal guards. She was radiant even in the chaos, her wings glinting with the city's neon glow. She met his eyes, and for a moment the world seemed to slow. "Commander Reinhardt," she said, her voice firm, commanding respect even over the roar of battle. "I did not expect humans to come personally," Alex smirked. "Some things are worth showing up for in person." Without waiting for further words, he leaped into action. Using a combination of grappling lines and human-engineered propulsion packs, he and his squad reached the balcony in minutes. Lysara's guards joined in the fight, but the numbers were against them. The mercenaries pressed harder, and the city shook with each explosion. Alex fought like a man possessed. Humans were not the strongest species in the galaxy, but they were relentless. He dodged energy blasts, returned fire, and moved with precision that even the Zypherians could admire. He reached Lysara's side, offering his hand. "We need to go, Your Majesty, now." She hesitated only a heartbeat before taking it. "I trust you." Together they ran through corridors, dodging falling debris and enemy fire. Alex's squad covered them, human tactics combining with Zypherian technology in ways that stunned even the mercenaries. Explosions rocked the palace and fires blazed, but Alex never slowed. Humans adapted, improvised, and survived when others would have fallen. Finally, they reached the evacuation point. Alex activated a hidden shuttle, one he had prepared in secret. The ship was small but fast, designed for escape rather than combat. Lysara stepped inside first and Alex followed. "Set course for the northern cliffs," he said. "We have a safe spot there." The shuttle shot into the sky, dodging enemy fire with acrobatics that no alien fleet could predict. The city below was a blur of lights, smoke, and chaos, but the passengers in the shuttle were safe. Once in the northern cliffs, the shuttle landed on a remote island, one that glowed faintly with bioluminescent plants. It was quiet here, a sharp contrast to the destruction they had escaped. Lysara stepped out, her wings folding behind her as she surveyed the island. "You humans are different," she said softly. "You risk everything for what? Duty, honor, or something else?" Alex leaned against the shuttle, catching his breath. "We fight for each other, and sometimes for the ones we care about." Lysara looked at him, studying his face. "You are unlike any human I have ever known, and I have known many." They walked together along the glowing forest paths, the air humming with the quiet energy of the island. Alex showed her simple human gestures, shared stories of his battles and his losses, and slowly, a bond formed. It was not just survival that connected them. It was understanding, respect, and something deeper that neither fully admitted. As night fell, the sky filled with stars reflecting off the crystal rivers that ran through the island. Lysara and Alex found themselves seated near a waterfall, the water glowing faintly with alien minerals. They talked of their worlds, of the wars they had seen, and of dreams that seemed impossible. "You are brave," Lysara said finally, her voice low, "and reckless." Alex smiled faintly. "Bravery without a little risk is just routine." They stayed there through the night, sharing warmth, stories, and a fleeting connection that both knew could not last. For Alex, it was a moment of humanity amidst chaos. For Lysara, it was a glimpse of what trust and courage could look like in someone so different from her own people. When dawn approached, Alex prepared to leave. He packed supplies, set coordinates for a secret human base, and gave Lysara one last look. "I have to go," he said quietly. "It's not safe for you if I stay. There are forces out there that would use me against you." Lysara's eyes widened, a mixture of fear and understanding in them. "You vanish like this, without explanation." Alex shook his head. "I will always watch over you, even if you don't see me. Humans have a way of showing up when it matters most, even from afar." Before she could protest, he activated his shuttle and was gone. Lysara stood alone on the island, the bioluminescent forest lighting her form. The memory of the human who had risked everything for her burned in her mind. She had expected a warrior, a protector, but Alex had been more than that. He had been unpredictable, clever, and entirely human. Back in the vastness of space, Alex watched the Xipherian homeworld shrink in the distance. His heart was heavy, but his mind was clear. The galaxy was dangerous, and forces he could not yet see were moving in the shadows. He would remain unseen, a silent guardian ensuring that the queen he had come to respect survived and thrived. For Lysara, the days that followed were filled with a mixture of hope and uncertainty. She led her people with renewed vigor, inspired by the human's courage. She often looked to the stars, imagining the face of the one who had risked his life for her, wondering if humans were always this unpredictable, or if Alex was a unique force entirely. The years began to pass, and the galaxy shifted. Human influence grew quietly, their ingenuity touching worlds without fanfare. Alex moved through the stars, always on the edge, unseen but influential. He sabotaged enemy operations, redirected mercenary fleets, and ensured that threats to Xipherians never fully materialized. Lysara remained unaware of the human's hidden hand, but she never forgot him. She carried his bravery with her, letting it guide her decisions. Let it remind her that even in a galaxy filled with danger, courage and loyalty could shine brighter than any weapon. And somewhere across the distance of countless light years, Alex smiled. Humans could vanish, but their impact never faded. The night had ended. The human had vanished. And the Zephyrian queen had survived, stronger than ever, holding a secret in her heart that only time would unravel. 5 years had passed since Commander Alex Reinhardt vanished from Lysara's life. In that time, the galaxy had grown more complex, and human influence had quietly spread into sectors previously dominated by alien powers. Lysara, now a seasoned leader, had guided her people through difficult years, earning respect and fear in equal measure. But still, she could not forget the human who had risked everything for her. The Zephyrian capital shimmered under twin moons, its crystal towers reflecting the pale light in every direction. Lysara stood at the top of her council hall, her wings folded neatly behind her. Her advisors spoke of politics, trade, and security, but her mind was elsewhere. "We have received reports of a human delegation in orbit," said one council member, a tall Zephyrian with silver skin. "They request a meeting with you, Your Majesty. They claim it is urgent." Lysara's heart skipped a beat. Humans rarely requested direct contact with the Queen of Zephyrians. Something had changed. "Prepare the meeting," she said softly, her voice betraying a mix of hope and apprehension. The space station hovered above a neutral planet, sleek and metallic, with docking bays glowing faintly in the starlight. Lysara's shuttle docked quietly, and she stepped into the human delegation hall. Her eyes scanned the room, taking in the figures before her. And then, as if the years had collapsed in a single heartbeat, she saw him. Alex Reinhardt stood at the far end of the room, calm, composed, and unmistakably human. His presence radiated confidence, but there was a subtle weight behind his eyes, a knowledge of battles fought silently, decisions made in the shadows, and sacrifices kept hidden. "Your Majesty," Alex said, stepping forward. His voice had the same steady cadence she remembered, but now it carried the authority of someone who had shaped events behind the scenes. "It has been too long." Lysara felt her wings shift instinctively. "5 years," she replied, her voice controlled but soft. "I wondered if I would ever see you again." Alex inclined his head slightly. "I had to disappear. There were threats that could not be confronted openly, forces that would have used me against you, or worse, against your people." She studied him carefully. "All this time you were protecting us from the shadows." "Always," he said. "Humans adapt. We see the cracks others miss. We act where others hesitate. Your survival mattered more than my presence, and I could not risk your life for the sake of sentiment." Lysara's chest tightened. She had imagined this moment countless times, but hearing his words, seeing him standing before her, made the reality more overwhelming than any dream. "Show me what you mean," she said quietly. "If humans are behind all that has kept my people safe, I need to understand." Alex led her to a holographic table at the center of the room. With a few gestures, he illuminated a star map filled with points, lines, and symbols. "These," he explained, "represent every mercenary fleet, every rogue faction, and every threat that could have destabilized Zephyrian sectors in the last 5 years. Every time your people avoided disaster, humans were quietly ensuring it." Lysara leaned closer, awe and disbelief mingling in her mind. "All this you planned without our knowledge." "Sometimes," Alex admitted, "humans work best in ways that are invisible, influence without recognition, strategy without exposure. You see, Your Majesty, the galaxy is not kind. It punishes hesitation, and humans learned long ago that surviving often requires choices that are unseen." The Queen was silent for a long moment, letting the weight of his words sink in. Then a sudden alarm sounded from the station. Lights flashed red as a distress signal interrupted their reunion. "Reports of a rogue fleet approaching," an officer announced. They're heavily armed, targeting Zypherian sectors. Lysara's wings flared instinctively, her royal command taking over. Alex, she said sharply, we face an immediate threat. Can you assist? Alex's eyes narrowed, a spark of excitement evident in his gaze. That's what I do best. The next hours were a blur of preparation and strategy. Alex and Lysara worked together seamlessly, humans and Zypherians combining tactics in ways neither species had attempted before. Alex introduced unorthodox maneuvers, using speed, unpredictability, and environmental advantage to offset the enemy's superior firepower. Humans were not the strongest, but they were brilliant under pressure, and Alex knew how to exploit every weakness. The battle began in orbit above the neutral planet. Rogue ships appeared like shadows against the stars, their weapons blazing. Zypherian forces held the front line, but Alex coordinated small human squads that struck at critical points: supply lines, communication nodes, command ships. The enemy was confused, unable to anticipate the unconventional strategies. Lysara watched from the command bridge as Alex directed maneuvers with uncanny precision. He was not just fighting the enemy. He was orchestrating an entire defensive campaign with ingenuity that only humans possessed. During the fight, a massive enemy flagship broke through the outer defenses, heading straight for the Zypherian capital. Lysara's heart raced. We can't let it reach the city, she said. If it does, everything is lost. Alex's gaze was sharp, calculating. I have a plan, he said, but it's risky. Only humans would attempt it, or maybe a Zypherian queen who trusts a human completely. Lysara raised an eyebrow but nodded. I trust you. Using the station as a lure, Alex guided a small human strike force directly into the flagship's path. They used gravity wells, decoys, and unexpected hyperspace jumps to bypass the ship's defenses. Explosions rocked the enemy vessel, and for a moment it seemed impossible that they could succeed. But humans were nothing if not determined. Alex led a boarding team, including himself, directly into the enemy flagship. They fought through corridors, disabling weapons and sabotaging engines. Lysara coordinated from the bridge, her voice steady as she guided their people's forces. Finally, Alex reached the ship's core. Using a combination of human-engineered explosives and quick improvisation, he created a chain reaction that destroyed the flagship without harming the nearby Zypherian fleet. The enemy fleet, demoralized and leaderless, retreated into the void of space. When the battle ended, silence returned. The stars were calm and the Zypherian capital was safe. Lysara looked at Alex, wings drooping in relief and admiration. You did it, she whispered. He shrugged, though a faint smile touched his lips. Humans do strange things when it matters. Sometimes we succeed. Sometimes we just survive. Today we did both. Lysara approached him, placing a hand on his arm. You risked everything again, and this time it wasn't just for me. It was for all of us. Alex's gaze softened. Humans are strange, but we care. That's what sets us apart. And sometimes we care enough to change the course of worlds. For a long moment they stood together, the weight of their shared experiences heavy but comforting. The galaxy was vast, full of dangers and mysteries, but in that moment, humans and Zypherians had proven that cooperation, courage, and trust could overcome even the most impossible odds. In the days that followed, alliances between humans and Zypherians strengthened. Lysara and Alex worked side by side, guiding their civilizations toward a future where understanding and ingenuity mattered more than brute strength or fear. They shared strategies, stories, and plans for the galaxy, each learning from the other, each inspired by the other's strengths. And yet, amidst the political negotiations and military planning, a quiet bond lingered between them. It was a bond built on respect, courage, and the memory of a night when a human had risked everything for an alien queen. It was a bond that neither time nor distance could erase. One evening, as the twin moons reflected off the Xipherian rivers, Lysara and Alex stood on a balcony overlooking the capital. She turned to him, her wings glowing faintly in the moonlight. "You have changed the galaxy in ways I cannot even begin to measure," she said. Alex smiled. "I did what humans do best. We adapt, we survive, and we sometimes leave our mark in ways the universe does not expect." Lysara laughed softly, the sound like music over the crystal rivers. "And that is why I will never forget you." Alex's gaze drifted to the stars. "Humans may vanish, Your Majesty, but when we leave an impact. Sometimes quietly, sometimes loudly, but always lasting." The Queen's eyes met his, a mixture of gratitude, admiration, and something deeper she had never named. "Then perhaps the galaxy is brighter for it." He nodded. "It is, because humans care, and sometimes that is enough to change everything." As they stood together, the stars beyond stretched endlessly, full of possibilities and challenges yet to come. The galaxy had survived one of its greatest threats, and humans had proven once again that their courage, ingenuity, and unpredictability were forces that could not be ignored. Lysara and Alex knew this was only the beginning. There would be more battles, more threats, and more challenges. But together, they had shown that when humans and aliens worked side by side, nothing was impossible. The night passed quietly, the twin moons reflecting on their figures. And somewhere in the galaxy, hidden among the stars, humans continued to act in ways that no one could predict, ensuring that courage, loyalty, and hope remained alive in the hearts of all who would fight for the future. In the end, Lysara realized that Alex had not just saved her that night 5 years ago. He had saved her people, her planet, and perhaps even the balance of the galaxy. And now, with him by her side, she knew the future was theirs to shape, together. And for Alex, the human who had once vanished into the darkness, the galaxy had finally become a place where he could stand openly, not just as a shadowy protector, but as a symbol of what humanity could achieve. Bold, unpredictable, courageous, and brilliant beyond measure. The stars sparkled above, endless and bright, as humans and Xipherians alike looked forward to a future forged in trust, ingenuity, and the enduring strength of the human spirit.